Hello students, today we are going to deal with the second chapter from your book, A Long Walk to Freedom. It is written by Nelson Mandela. This is an autobiography. Autobiography means a life story written by himself. So, before we begin with the chapter, I'll explain to you the background and as well as let us know what is this long walk to freedom. At the beginning of the chapter itself, you'll find this word apartheid. It is a political system that separates people according to their race. This is an extraordinary human disaster which Mandela mentioned as it was practiced in South Africa, differentiating or discriminating the people on the basis of their colors. For example, the black and white. As I said in the beginning, this is an autobiography about Nelson Mandela. So let's learn who is Nelson Mandela and where was he born. Nelson Mandela was born on July 18th, 1918, and he was the first South African president to be elected in a fully representative democratic election. So it's amazing to know that being a black, he's elected as the president of South Africa. Trained as an attorney means a lawyer, he helped from the Youth League of the African National Congress in 1944. In 1961, he abandoned peaceful protest and became head of the African National Congress's new military wing. Shortly, he was sentenced to life imprisonment in 1964. Mandela came to symbolize black political aspirations and was named head of the ANC after his release on February 11, 1990. That means after 26 years of imprisonment. So what happened after his release? Let's go back to that historic day, the 10th of May, 1994. Nelson Mandela swears in as the first black president of South Africa on 10th May 1994. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria. Pretoria is a political administrative capital of South Africa. For decades, that means for many years, this had been the seat of white supremacy. Supremacy means the white people were ruling for many years. And now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. He addressed the rainbow gathering with a jest, telling that never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. As I have already introduced that this chapter is an autobiography. So here, dear students, I have extracted some of the important words from the chapter and which are very significant as it is very often asked in the question. So those are the only words that I have extracted here and let's learn it. Nelson Mandela recalls the army officials who could have caught him and put him in jail before were saluting him to pay respect to the newly born democracy. And in the history of the world, the first time the two national anthems were sung at the time of swearing-in ceremony. He also recalls back the history and pays homage to the national martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the sake of motherland, as you see in the picture. He tells that the martyrs were the men of extraordinary courage and wisdom and generosity. He also talks about two duties, that means twin obligations. In life, every man has twin duties to his family, to his community and country. The author found it difficult to fulfill these two duties. It was because a colored man in South Africa was punished if he lived like a human being. Such a man was forced to live apart from his own people. Thus, he was not allowed to do his duties to his family. Thus he tells that he did not in the beginning choose to place his people above his family, but in attempting to serve his people, he found that he was prevented from fulfilling his obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home. The author tells that he was not born with a hunger to be free. He was born free, free in every way that he could know. As a child, sure and certain, he didn't have that mind to differentiate between oppression and freedom. He felt everything was free. He never craved for freedom. He felt very free, free to run in the fields near his mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through his village, free to roast mealies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow-moving bulls. As long as he obeyed his father and abided by the customs of his tribe, he was not troubled by the laws of man or God. It was only when he began to learn that his boyhood freedom was an illusion, it was just a dream, when he discovered as a young man that his freedom had already been taken from him, that he began to hunger for it. So only when he was growing up, thus he got the knowledge of freedom. So for a young boy, freedom means what? As a student, like freedom to do whatever you like, yes or not. So he himself also thought freedom is only for himself. The transitory freedom, that means just passing away, temporary freedom of being able to stay out at night, read what he pleased, and go wherever he chose to go. That was the meaning of freedom for him as a young boy. But then slowly he realized that not only he who was not free, but his brothers and sisters were also not free. He saw that it was not just his freedom that was curtailed. Curtailed means reduced. But the freedom of everyone who looked like he did. That means all the blacks, whoever looked like him, they too were not allowed to be free. Then he joined the African National Congress, and that is when the hunger for his own freedom became the hunger for the freedom of his people. It was the desire for the freedom of his people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animated his life. That means now what encouraged him to go forward to fight for the freedom is for the dignity and freedom and self-respect of his people. And that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one. He became very brave. That drove a law-abiding attorney to become a criminal. That turned a family-loving husband into a man without a home. That forced a life-loving man to live like a monk. That shows the transformation that came into him. To fight for the freedom, he became very brave. And he came out in the light to fight for his people. Further, he realized that freedom is indivisible. That means cannot be separated. The chains on any one of his people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of his people were the chains on him. So in a way, he tells that if one is not freed, that means all people are not free. Nelson Mandela was a man of a big heart. He knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. You see his mentality towards this enemies, so to say. A man who takes away another's freedom becomes the hated. No one is free if he is taking someone else's freedom. Both the oppressor and the oppressed are robbed of humanity. So he wants freedom for both. The meaning of these words, let me read it to you in his own words. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. Mind you, he is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow-mindedness. That means the one who takes away others' freedom, they are also not freed because they become the prisoners of hatred. Let me read it to you his own wonderful words of wisdom. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom, just as surely as I am not free when my freedom is taken from me. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. So this is all about a long walk to freedom. Once again, let's listen carefully. I'll give you the summary. Nelson Mandela, the first black president of South Africa after more than 3 centuries of white rule, celebrated very vividly the grand ceremony of the first democratic non-racial government. Being sworn in, he said radiantly that, "Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another." He pays homage to the freedom fighters like Oliver Tambo, Luthuli, Yusuf Dadoo. They were men of great courage, wisdom and generosity. He regards the deaths of thousands of people who sacrificed their lives for the cause of freedom. It is not the absence of fear, but the victory over it. No man is born with harassment, rather love, which comes natural to the human heart. He says, every man has his duties to his family, to the community, and to his country to perform honestly.